Well, if you want help increasing your conscious awareness so that you can live up to all the hopes and dreams that you have for your life, you have tuned in at just the right time. My next guest, Dr. Richard Huntoon, has written this book. It's called Make a Quantum Leap in Your Consciousness on the Road to Ascension. In it, he helps us break free of negative core beliefs and choose to lead a more positive life. Love that. Good morning to you. Good to see you.
It's good to be here. I want to thank you for having me. It's important for me to share this heartfelt information with our viewing audience, so I'm happy to be here.
Let's get right into it, because I think it's important information as well, because we've all heard that phrase, stuck in a rut. I feel like I'm stuck in a rut, and we have all been there at some point, I think, in our lives. But why do some of us keep getting stuck in a rut?
Well, it's very, very common, and it's a great question. The reason why we get stuck has to do with our thinking. And when we're caught in a thought pattern, it's basically coming out of our unconscious mind. Now, our unconscious mind is there to store all of our painful memories and our past traumatic experiences. And what happens is life tends to show up that re-stimulates that. And so when we express something out of our unconscious mind, we're not being present with what is. We're actually reliving a past moment. And so we have a tendency to attract those circumstances and those situations that cause us to repeat our patterns over and over and over again.
What a great way to explain it. So we think that we're in the present, but then something happens and we're acting on these unconscious or subconscious beliefs from the past, things that have happened to us in the past, and so we can't move forward.
We're re-stimulating the past, and so we're reacting or literally acting again to a previous experience, but what's based on what's going on right now.
Very interesting. So how do we change these patterns then, and what happens if we try to change, but then we always seem to circle back to where we were, stuck and unhappy?
It's very, very common that people have that experience. I too have had those experiences, and so what we need to do is we need to slow down, okay? When we need to get out of our head and we need to drop into our heart. We need to get out of our thinking mind and get into our feeling heart center. And so what's important is that if we slow down, our initial reaction is going to be out of our unconscious mind. So if we slow down and take a minute to think twice, literally think twice, our first response is a reaction. Our second response is more in line with what we would like life to be and how we would like it to go and how we can create the outcomes that we're looking for in a more balanced way so that we're not being stuck anymore. We're actually leading the lives that we would like to lead.
You know, I do want to talk a minute about, therapy and counseling and support groups. And there are an awful lot of people who spend an awful lot of time and money and effort going, yet nothing changes.
And
why?
that is so true. It's not to say that it's not helpful, because it is helpful, but the difficulty is when you spend time talking about what you've experienced and you keep re-stimulating it and rehashing it and re-talking about it, nothing changes. If you want change, you need to introduce change. And the way that you introduce change is you need to think differently. Okay? You need to be proactive with what it is that you're doing, and you need to determine what it is you would like to experience and start talking more about that. Be in your outcome. Don't be stuck in the past. Be where you want to be. Talk about what's coming tomorrow. Talk about how true it is today so that you can have your tomorrows today instead of reliving yesterday's.
What makes your book different? Because I do see an awful lot of books that talk about the subconscious and living in the present and not being a slave to the past. What makes your book different?
I believe my book is different because it is consciously designed. It's designed to help you identify what your patterns are. Once you identify what your patterns are, okay, well then you can take a look at them and you can choose to change them consciously rather than continually to repeat the same patterns over and over again. And the nice part about it is it's designed consciously to help you move through your process at your pace, and you're not spending lots of money sitting on somebody's couch or stirring the pot. You're helping yourself to move forward in a more conscious manner.
Well, in the book you also outline some tools and some exercises that we can do to kind of reprogram our beliefs. Walk us through them.
We don't have time to go through all of them, but I can tell you the very first exercise helps you to identify where you are. So we have the three main things that people have difficulty with: their money, their health, and their relationship. Okay, so if we use money, because everybody would like to have more money nowadays, money, take a time to make a list of all the different ways that you feel about money, both positive and negative, and you're going to have two lists. And when you come to look at the negative aspect of how you feel about money, well, now you'll appreciate why your experience with money is that way, because your unconscious is creating more of that than more of the positive. So now that you can see where you're at, the tools within the book will help you to move through, and then the exercises will help to reinforce what your new patterns are and will help you to create more of the response that you would like to have with money or with your health or with your relationships or with anything that has importance for you.
Interesting exercises. I like the idea of writing things down because you can visually see it on paper, you
Right.
know, as opposed to envisioning it in your mind. And having said that, what do you hope that viewers take away from this interview and from the book?
Well, my hope is that we all start to live a more conscious life as a society. We all start to create the kinds of outcomes that we're looking for, live our wants, wishes, and desires, and to experience what we're all here to experience, which is to have a happy, healthy, balanced life. And so my hope is that everybody will start to lead more from their heart instead of from their head and allow themselves to have a more heartfelt life.
That's right, the heart does not lie. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing this really useful information. Good stuff this morning. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I really enjoy the fact that I'm able to share this information with your viewing audience.
Absolutely. Thanks again. And once again, the book is called Making a Quantum Leap in Your Consciousness on the Road to Ascension. For more information on Dr. Huntoon or the book, please visit the website quantumleaptoascension.com.